Welcome back to Sprague Homestead. We're back, but we never really left. So for the last 2 weeks, we have been busy little beavers getting ready for the winter. So you remember our nephew moved out, and well, his little brother actually went to the hospital, and then we had one of Nikki's uncles passed away. So we have been busy running both farms with family activities going in and out, and in-laws, or my in-laws, doing a lot of traveling back and forth for hospitals or everything else. It's been crazy. So one of the things we mentioned previously was that we needed to get firewood going, so we are out today cutting up wood on our neighbor's property. So if I slowly pan around, all of this is completely untouched. So we have a neighbor behind us that has 100-something acres. He's got a little bit more than us, and he doesn't burn firewood, so he is more worried about reforestation and also a little bit of a wildlife sanctuary preserve where he just likes to check out the badgers and deer on his deer cam. So he gives us access to this to basically cut as much wood as we want every year. So we are up today getting a truckload of firewood and getting some stuff back to the homestead. So as simple as that, we got a truckload ready to go. So while we get this back to the splitting area on our property, let's see what else we've been up to.
Okay, well, with the cold weather coming in, the name of the game today is all about whatever we can get out of the garden before it freezes. Usually if it's one freeze, a light frost, something like that, we might try and save everything and try and push it through. 15-day forecast has 12 out of 15 days freezing. So my tomatoes, peppers, and the like are not going to survive that. So we've started pulling all the tomatoes. We're going to put them up green. The small ones will become chutney and salsa, and the big ones will let ripen, hopefully, in the house. Peppers, peppers can come in the house now. They're going to be a little small, but better small than nothing. Tomatoes, like I said, are coming in. Potatoes, we're going to just let burn off, and then I'll dig them probably in the next week. So we started last night. We've already got 2 small boxes of green tomatoes. Still got the dome to do, and I see a few stragglers on these plants out here. So it's going to be a busy day as we try to get what we can get before the weather does. Well, it looks like we've got freezing weather coming up this week, so Kanan is up there cleaning the chimney out. We got a cleaning kit from our local coastal, and he's just cleaning everything out, make sure the fireplace is ready. He already took all the bricks out of the main part of the fireplace inside, cleaned all that up, and now he's doing this. So I don't envy him. I don't like being on the roof, but he doesn't seem to mind, and it needs to be done. Okay, so one of the things we've been doing in the last 2 weeks, we actually just got to yesterday, is we're starting to thin our bird flocks for the winter. So we did 12 roosters yesterday. You can kind of see behind me, this is the chicken plucker. We bought it a couple years ago because, quite frankly, plucking chickens sucks. So we got it, I think through Amazon actually, for a really good deal. So we've been using it for a couple years. We've still got 12 more chickens to do, 6 ducks, and 5 turkeys to do before the snow flies. So that'll be the project for the next month or so. So this last weekend and the weekend before, we were back on the show tables. So we are back doing our fall shows. This fella is a magpie harlequin. He's a blue. His name is Stan. Actually, it's the Art of Resistance. And Stan went to the Redmond show a couple weeks ago. And in both of the shows, he took Best of Breed. So we're pretty excited about that. And at the Grants Pass show this last weekend, here just a couple of days ago, he took Best of Breed in the specialty, Best of Group Magpie in show B, and Best Junior Buck in the first show. So he had a pretty good weekend. All in all, we had Best of Breed and Best Opposite in both of our Americans. Our little Champagne Doe, who you can see right there, did pretty well. She took first place and third place in the Junior Champagne d'Argent class. And so we have been back on the show tables, and we have another show in about a month in Idaho. Okay, so as I mentioned here the other day, we were getting a frost and a freeze. We have been all the way down to 21 now. So everything in the garden is pretty much done. We do have some stuff in that big bed turnips. There's some beets still in there and some arugula and stuff. That is still holding on, but everything else is pretty much done for. You can see the potato beds have all been dug. We got about 4 or 5 gallon buckets of spuds, so not bad. Tomatoes, tomatoes, and more tomatoes. So I have been canning. I've been making green relish and chutneys and pepper relishes and all that good stuff. So I'm at about 6 to 7 cases of canned goods so far off of just these beds. And I've probably still got 3 to 4 more cases to do because a lot of those tomatoes were just too small to ripen in the house. So that is what's going on with our garden. And here are some of the tomatoes that are left over. You can see that box of cherry tomatoes is really starting to ripen. And some of these guys are heading off to be green chutney because they are just not big enough to actually do anything. But some of these over here are starting to ripen. I pulled out a whole bunch of them this morning and added them in the sauce pile, which is in the living room, or the dining room rather. So we are still canning and still going to be processing those for a while. You can kind of see some of the canned goods that I've been working on. Guess there's some salsa up here as well. And here is a whole bunch of herbs that I collected the other day that I am air drying because I ran out of room in the dehydrator. So lots of good stuff still going on. Lots of canning and preserving and drying still to do. So we will probably have more in the next update video.
Okay, now with the truck back home unloaded, and we're going to get a cool beverage. But I will mention, if you look behind at the shop, I mentioned that I was going to paint it. So I've got most of the painting done. I still have to do catch ups on some of the grooves, if you notice, in between the slats and that needs to be finished up. Maybe a second coat if I can get to it this winter, and definitely need to catch up on the trim and get that to be brown. All right, so we're back for round 2 of firewood for today, and if you notice behind, Nikki is already in her chainsaw gear and she has cleaned off this log. Now, you might notice that she is using marking paint and a tape measure to mark. And why do we do that?
Because Kaden can't cut consistently.
You're not supposed to tell anybody that.
That, and we have a very, very small earth stove. So the biggest piece we can get in is 14 inches.
So between that, what she's doing is she's marking it at 14 inches, which gives me, the guy with the big chainsaw, the ability to cut consistently. So that way pieces will actually fit in the fireplace. I did that before where they didn't fit. So it makes it easier to stack, and when everything's consistent and it's nice and split. So we each have gear on. Obviously she has her chainsaw, Kevlar pants on, her chaps, long sleeve shirt, eyeglasses, and then she also has a helmet with a face screen and ear protection, which we'll put links to that, all that stuff that we use down below. If you guys need some new gear, we'll give you links to get that. So with that, we're gonna get at least 6 truckloads this year ready for the firewood bin, and if we can get more than 6 we will, but I think 6 will fill up at least 1 more bin, and then we'll get us into that 3rd one we're trying for this year. So I think we're gonna get snow in a month, so we've got time to do. Of course, she has lots of canning to do. I'm out of town traveling the next couple weeks, so we'll get you another update on where we are, and winter is coming, so get ready. We'll see you next time.